Good evening, race fans. Welcome to the Core Racing Network. Tonight we are in Germany at the Hockenheim Ring for round number 10, the penultimate round here for the CSRL GT Series, as we're only got one more after this one, the 2-hour finale in Indianapolis. So this is going to be a big one, and it's a track that maybe doesn't get as much love as I think it should. I think it's a pretty good track over here in Hockenheim, and it's certainly going to test these drivers for the second last race of the season. Carl Hamworth joined in the booth by Jimmy Coburn. Jimmy, we've been here a couple times before, but it seems like it's never run that often, and sometimes it kind of catches these drivers off guard.
Sometimes. I know there's a lot of drivers that do like it. I mean, there's some really tight corners here, obviously, around the track, and it plays a big part in getting around here at a decent clip. Our top drivers are competing for the championship here up front, doing 137s. Most of the field is doing anywhere between a 138 and 140. So overall, but it does look like a few drivers maybe having some issues with the track still, up in the 141s or so, and that's just driving the car too deep, slowing down too early. There's all kinds of tricks, and maybe even not even utilizing the whole track, knowing where you can go off the track, where you can cut the apexes. All that fun stuff needs to come into play here, so you don't get no slowdowns. But yeah, it's a fun track. It's a driver's track. A little bit of speed. They work that draft a little bit, and show one line and pull another. So we'll see how these drivers do here tonight. It's going to be an interesting one for 45 minutes.
He's going to get out there and give everyone a look around the track, but I'm sure we'll be behind the car of one of these drivers here throughout the race to show you as the qualifying is just already finishing up here tonight. But before we get to the qualifying, we'll take a look at the point standings here. If I can, there we go. The point standings here for the series heading into, again, the second last race of the season. We got Todd Torville leading the silver division by 10 points over Bill Burrell, Jay Little, Eric Black, Paul Bailey for your top 5. In the gold, it is Tyler Torville leading by 7 points after a great run, and really just a great season so far for Tyler in the 22. David Tilford is the one 7 points back. Frank Pisano, Cesar Colon Torres, and Steve McLean for your top 5. In the platinum, it's definitely not over just yet, as it is an 8-point difference between Craig Jancic and Chris Hamilton, and another 1 point back to Mason Smith. So 3 drivers covered by 9 points right now in the Platinum Division. Alex Zart, Bryce Reiner for your top 5. Normally by this time of the season we're talking about another championship for Craig Jancic, but not the case here tonight, Jimmy. He's going to have 2 good races to finish this thing off, and right now he's not sitting on top of the boards. The qualifying is just about over. Both of his competitors are currently above him in the standings, and looks like that's where they're going to start. But I mean, this is one. Yeah, you said the track limits and really the curbs can get a little funky here, and man, cold tires are not fun at all. I mean, even the little kink on the backstretch is a little tough with cold tires.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that the iRacing kind of just put into the sim here for these drivers to kind of cope with. These cars don't have warm blankets or whatever, so when you go out there, you got nice warm tires, and you just stick right away. So you got to get some heat, and get the pressure built up in the tires, and really to push it. But it's really kind of the opening of the race. Who can push the car a little bit harder on them cold tires, and usually starts the race off really well, and you're able to pull out or get out front here early. So they do have one fast repair. They're not starting with a full tank, so they can't just stay out there the whole time. They do have to come in at least once, but again, that's that one time in will take you all the way to the end if you just top off with fuel. So it's kind of that close, but we'll see what these drivers can do here tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of show that these drivers provide here. But 32 cars on the field, looking to get ready to go here soon, as they should be taking the field here shortly.
Yeah, the grid is set, so we'll give you a rundown of tonight's starting order, and it's going to look like this as well. it's not going to look like anything if we don't have the right things in place. So let's take care of that first here real quick. Get the overlays in here correctly. And
I'm gonna get it.
Why, there we go. Why it never wants to work for me right away. But starting grid here for tonight, Mason Smith going to be on the pole. Chris Hamilton, Craig Jancic are going to be your top three, but certainly in a bit of a different order here. Noah Bergeau in fourth, Alex Zart for your top five here tonight. As I'm losing my mouse, there we go. Going through the rest of the order, Bryce Reiner going to start in sixth, Siviani Madrigal, Tyler Torville, and just nothing wants to work here correctly. There we go. Dave Tilford, Kyle Cobbler for your top 10. Frank Pisano, Christian Ortiz-Torres, Javi Sierra, Cesar Colon-Torres, Jim Dutton for your top 15, Devin Young, Herbert Pineda, Jason Phillips, Trent Blaylock, and Stephen McLean for your top 20. Then you got Glenn Lazan, Alex Ballou. I'll let Jimmy, or sorry, that's Alain Ballou. I'll let Jimmy handle that one. Todd Torville, Steve Santana, John Espada, Ian Wilson, Stephen Price, William Burrell, Jay Little, Paul Bailey for your top 30. Brennan Dilemma and Sean Wiley going to round out the field. The one thing I did notice there, Jimmy, is I know, John Espada likes to, kind of stick out just because he runs the BMW every race, but I don't think he was sticking out enough. I think he's colorful enough that we're going to pick him out here tonight.
Maybe. Looking at patch notes that are coming out soon, looks like the BMW is getting a refresh. So, you know how iRacing does their things here. They get out there and they update a car, and it seems to get a little bit of love. So I see the BMW with a comeback here come this next season in iRacing.
Well, we'll see what these drivers can do, and yeah, I'm sure if the BMW gets a little love, it's going to be the fastest car out there. So maybe John is in the right spot, but you're in the right spot for some racing as we are going green here at Hockenheim, heading down into turn number one. A little bit of a kink, and both Mason Smith, Chris Hamilton sticking together. You see right behind him is Craig Jancic looking for a way around already, trying to dodge around there, trying to figure out a way in. But Hamilton going to lead him into the corner here, and now to the first time through the Parabolica.
Yeah, and this is important for some of these drivers to kind of get out there. There is opportunities to pass, but obviously trying to stick their nose up. These drivers have been so close so often. They really know what it means to kind of be up front in that clean air. But yeah, Noah looking to the outside here, into the inside of Chris Hamilton, gonna sneak by for the lead.
Yeah, the Gold driver. We got a parking lot at the end of the Parabolica there. We'll take a look back once the lap is complete here and see what exactly happened. But quite a few drivers tangled up in this one. Looks like William Burrell, Todd Torville, Ian Wilson, Glenn Lazan, just to name a few. But I think it started up even further than that. But here we go, down into the infield, almost 3 wide, as Craig Jancic getting the elbows out. He's trying to get up there. He wants to pass both these cars, but looks like Chris Hamilton going to try and fight him. He knows if he lets Jancic by here, it could be a long, long race. But Jancic is going to force his way through. Now he is up to second place, and both the cars that he needed to win, or needed to be ahead of here at the race end, Chris Hamilton and Mason Smith are already behind him.
Oh, what another wreck.
Let's take a look at the first wreck here. This was at the end of the Parabolica, and see him coming down here in the corner, and 2-3 wide. And right there, it doesn't work out. It ends up being quite a bit of a pileup between 4, 5, 6 cars. Some cars going wide off the track. Some more incidents, but that is the first incident we just seen, and so much going on. Won't let me move the mouse. Another incident here. This is probably one that Jimmy just noticed. This was with Jim Dutton getting a little bit wide, a little bit too much kitty litter, and a lot of bit of the wall coming out of the corner. And then another one with Todd Torville here. So his lap 2 headed back to the parabolic. A little too much curb. In the grass and into the wall. As we'll get you back live here.
Oh, while you're continuing, there's another little tangle up at the end of the parabolic, but this time with Mason Smith and Alex Zart and Bryce Reiner. They're continuing to keep going, no sideways or whatever, but some elbows out here with only this race and one more to the finale of this season.
Yeah, and there's definitely some big points on the line here. Obviously, next week the 2-hour double points season finale is still in play, and as long as Chris Hamilton and Mason Smith can keep up there and keep close to Craig Jansen, even if he does beat them here tonight, they'll still mathematically have a chance to come back and rectify it next week at the 2-hour season finale. But it's certainly not a good look for them. I don't want to say letting Craig Jansen by, because it wasn't like they just pulled off to the side of the road and let him by, but he found his way to get around, and already Chris Hamilton trying to get in his head, flashing those lights through the parabolica. See if he makes a move late. Now he's going to stick in line here as it is. Bourgeot in front, Jansen, Hamilton, Zart, and Smith for your top 5. Bourgeot obviously in the gold. He is leading as well. And then the top runner in the silver is Elena Boulot. Boulot? What do you say, Jimmy?
Bay. B-E-A. That's the end of their name, Bay. Elaine Bay. No, yeah, Elaine out there just kind of getting things done. A pretty decent run there, currently sitting in 13th, so maybe missing some of that mayhem there early. A few drivers being all benefit that. Obviously, the battle continues up front with Chris Hamilton and Chris Jansen. Chris trying to get around, getting the wanting the preferred line, but if Craig gives him anything, it's the harder of the two lines. He's been doing some defending here, not allowing Chris Hamilton to get around. So right now, I think he's just kind of in a focus mode. He just needs to get by Craig Jansen. I'm sure he's not too worried about winning. I mean, he would love to win, I'm sure, but would definitely need to be in front of the 88 points behind it.
Hamilton is down one spot again, starting on that front row in second, but Mason Smith is the one that's really kind of gotten hurt by this start, as he's back there in fourth. This was where he fell back a little bit right here. This is with the pass finally by Alex Zart to move him back another position. Was able to hold off Bryce Reiner for the time being, but it's not been a good start for Mason Smith, all the way back there in fifth after starting on the pole here tonight. But Noah Bourgeot up 3 spots here as he is leading in Germany here at the Hockenheim ring, as we are 6 minutes into this race, and already seeing some drivers kind of settling into the pace and starting to pick up that pace a little bit. Alex Zart running the fast lap on the race the last time by, but they're all chasing the 26 right now up front. The Canadian, one of the several Canadians out there. I know for a while it was just kind of a couple of them out there with Ian Wilson and Jim Dutton, but now we got Elaine out there, we got Noah out there. It's starting to be a little more international flair.
Yeah, a little international flair. It's still missing a few drivers out there still, only going into the 30s. I know they're trying to hit that 40 mark here pretty solidly, and just to keep, there's a mix of people kind of coming in and out, and that's good to have. And eventually, hopefully, all those schedules will line up, and we'll see all the drivers participate. Because I'm sure the numbers are probably close to 50, if not over, for the amount of different drivers that can drive here. Obviously, being at the end of the season, we see it very often, and it's not too bad. Actually, it's really good, considering there's only one more race. Craig Jansen getting to the inside here, though, of Noah, and looking for the lead, but not able to get the stick.
Now he was doing some defending, heading down into the hairpin there, but it ended up turning into to offense as Noah didn't exactly have a good rotation in, but got a good enough drive off in that Porsche to pull back ahead. But certainly Craig Jansen kind of stuck in the middle. He wants to play offense, but he's got to play defense because Hamilton is right there all over his back bumper, and Hamilton knows that, again, it's not necessarily needed that he needs to finish ahead of Jansen here tonight, but it would certainly help his causes in the points.
Yeah, I mean, if you're fighting somebody for the points, excuse me, get any kind of run on him or a jump on him is to make sure that you're in front of him. So, even if it's just one position, that's those couple more points that could, potentially be the championship points. You're trying to race each race the best you can, and the championship comes down toward the end where the totals are at. But you have to run each and every race, consistently, get the best finish you can. Try to win them if you can, and all of the good stuff that leads to the end of your championship. So anything better than your competitor is going to benefit you at the end.
I'm sure the hometown fans here are rooting on that Porsche, but he's going to be looking at the fence again as Jansen peeks his nose in there, but not going to happen this time by. But before the lone American car out there in the top 5 trying to play spoiler here, and certainly the driver behind the wheel knows his way around these tracks and knows his way to the front as well. We'll see if he can get it done tonight, but take a look back a little further in the field. They've got some more battling, and certainly hot and heavy towards the back. A big dive down on the inside, and it's going to cause a bit of an incident here, as well as Steve McLean gets into the side of Steve Santana, gets him a little bit loose, as he went for at least 1 or 2 positions right there in the hairpin. And now it looks like, another major incident there, as that is a huge incident there for Glenn Lazan. I'm not sure if Santana seen him through the corner, but it looks like Santana may end up having too much damage. He's going to end up bringing it back to the pits.
Yeah, that are penalizing himself, knowing that they kind of hip checked the other Mustang as he went flying. It didn't look like he was okay. Let's see real quick before that toe timer comes around. See what kind of damage is on that car.
Speaking of damage, Craig Jansen into the back of Noah Bourgeois that time, and it doesn't look like there's any kind of damage to the back of that Porsche, but maybe give him a little check there, saying like, listen, I need to get by here if you're not going to go faster. Now Jansen has got his mirror full of Hamilton. Hamilton's going to step out again, try and go around the outside. We'll see if he tries to get the crossover done. He's going to stay outside. Not going to get the run, and now Hamilton may have his hands full with Zart, but Zart falls back in line as he'll stay right in line here again. This is helping Mason Smith keep in touch with everyone as well. But our silver leader had a bit of an incident. Looks like he's back on track and still leading here in the Tinder 509 right now. But lost a couple spots right there.
Yeah, Mason Smith was able to adjust now as Zart was trying to make a move on Hamilton, because Hamilton was trying to make a move on Craig Jansen, and Mason able to take the opportunity to get by Zart as he was out of position. So moved Mason Smith back up 1 more spot, back up on the P04. I'm sure he'd love to get back up in the lead and back around his competitors of Chris Hamilton and Craig Jansen, but Noah defending here tonight right now, and running some pretty good laps. And so everybody chasing the 86. Excuse me, 26.
I was gonna say, am I seeing something wrong here? I was about to correct you, but yeah, the 26 year of Noah is he's certainly got a good pace out here tonight. Qualified up there in 4th position, and picked off a few spots pretty quickly here to get himself to the lead. And this is finally a chance where he can maybe breathe a little bit, at least going down into the hairpin, as it's been close almost every time, and a threat of a pass. But this time he can finally take the line that he wants to through the hairpin, and maybe start to stretch his legs out here a little bit. 1 second lead right now for Bourgeois. Jansen, Hamilton, Smith, and Reiner for your top 5, as Reiner made his way past Alex Zart as well. So Zart back to 6th place. Siviani Madrigal Tyler Torville, Dave Tilford, and Kyle Koppler for your top 10. Leader still in the silver class is Alain Below. And then obviously the leader of the race and in the gold is Noah Bourgeot and Craig Jancic, your leader in the platinum. But Noah's stretching out here a little bit. We'll see if he can shake free of the chasers here. But it's starting to get a little dark and cloudy here. I mean, it's not going to be a night race. I don't believe. I didn't check the time when they started, but at the very least, a lot of cloud cover right now.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any weather on the horizon. I was talking to somebody. They said something about the potential of rain, but looking at radar here for the next 45 minutes, no rain in sight, still 0% per precipitation. But it is rising, which will mean it will probably eventually rain. No, rising is not. It'll be dropping. So, anyways, back to the race here as Noah out front over Craig Jancic, and then obviously Chris Hamilton and Nelson Smith running around trying to track them down. So you're gonna get the first about 8 drivers kind of battling there for the lead, and they're all in a pretty close range. Also have Trent Blaylock. Does look like he is back on the track though.
Take a look here what happened to the 3. It's down in the corner number 2. Oh, maybe got a little hit from behind from the silver class leader. And did get it back going. Lost about, looks like 3 spots on the track for that. But yeah, as you mentioned, Jimmy, we got a bit of a breakaway here. I mean, the top, looks like the top 9 cars right now are all still pretty much in line. Some of them taken to the kitty litter there, as looks like Tilford maybe took a little bit too much, but still back in line. You gotta wonder and worry about that kitty litter getting dragged back on the track and maybe getting a little slick through that area as well. But I mean, the top 9 right now covered by less than 5 seconds, and I mean, it will actually look even closer to the top 8, only covered by 4 seconds right now. But it is still the 26 Bourgeot up front. Jancic, Hamilton, Smith, and Reiner for your top 5. It seems to be settled down here a little bit, but not for lack of effort here as Hamilton gets a good rotation through turn number 2, but Jancic almost shoves him off the track to keep him out of that position. Now Hamilton going to be pushing him all the way down through the Parabolica. Will he go to make a move? He's going to look to the outside here again, but now he's going to fall back in line. And you wonder, at some point, does Hamilton get the chrome bumper out? Does he go for a little bumper run, especially here in the hairpin?
No, Chris, probably not. Obviously Chris is fast, and I haven't known him to put the bumper to somebody and push him out of the way. He usually likes to get that run and get underneath him fair and square, and make a very clean pass. So I don't see the bumper coming out here, but you know what? I put a pass. There is only this race and one more for that championship, and they need a little bit of help here. If the 88 does having a flat tire because he ran off track, I mean, oops.
We'll see how it plays out, and I mean, while these drivers are battling, it seems like every time they get in a little bit of a scrap, Bourgeot just checks out a little bit more, which he's fine with that, but then they settle back in line and they reel him right back in. So I'm not sure if he's just not the fastest, if he's maybe holding back a little bit, or if the draft is just that much here that they can reel him back in so quickly, because already the lead was at about 3/4 of a second. It's already back down under a half a second. But once again, it seems like Hamilton getting some really good run through turns 2 and 3 to set him up for this long run down the Parabolica. And you wonder if and when he's going to be able to maybe sneak attack and dive to the inside of Jancic to try and get that second position.
Jancic's not. He's least expecting it. That's the only day I can think of. I mean, he's on Chris and there and everything, driving just as hard. I've seen him out there practicing tonight. Obviously, he was one of the faster drivers out there on the track for practice. He qualified well in P number 2. So, you know, obviously we know Chris has got the pace tonight, just as much so as Craig. Craig not quite having to get the qualification or quality he wanted, but still up in that top 5. So, but Noah just leading the way here tonight, taking advantage of cars battling behind him for that position, allowing that Porsche to kind of not walk away at the moment. He's sitting almost at a second. He's at 0.7, Carl, but yeah, it's definitely sure a sight that he's enjoying looking in his mirror and seeing those two cars battle it out.
And he's got the clean air on the front of the car, which is certainly going to help him through the track here. And he's got, nothing to worry about when it comes to points. He can just run his own race, and I'll be damned to the other drivers, battling for what they got to battle for. I mean, right now he's got first, second, and third in the platinum points right behind him, and they are in line as well, second, third, and fourth. Hamilton wants to get by. You can tell every time he gets to the Parabolica, he's thinking about making a move, but just sticking in line right now. Maybe he's also in the back of his mind thinking, you know what, I'm tired of taking more fuel than Jancic in these pit stops. Maybe he's just kind of settling in here, saving some fuel. Hopefully he has a good enough pit stop, but I mean, if I'm Hamilton, as crew chief, you go by what the numbers say. And the numbers say that more often than not, Jancic bingoes his pit stop. So if you're going to get in front of him, you can't expect to get in front of him via the pit stop. You got to get in front of him on the track.
Yeah, and it's hard because Craig's fast on the track. He's been bingoing his pit stops pretty well, and taking the battle out there right now. Noah just kind of bingoing the track, just hitting his marks. We're watching him, obviously, just kind of slinging that Porsche around here. You don't think the Porsche would be a very good car for here, but hey, since it's made here, maybe it's made for Porsche. Oh, there's the mistake.
Not like that though, as Noah is going to give the outside line here, and Hamilton has got to get around here right away. He cannot let Jancic get out there and get in the lead, and a great job there by Hamilton to jump right into second. How about Reiner diving to the inside here of Smith, going to try and make the pass in turn 2. Not going to be enough though, as Smith is going to have the inside line. He's going to get back in line in fourth, but that was a big mistake by the 26, and now Jancic in the lead. And as much as it's not over here tonight unless Hamilton and Smith have a big bad race here. I mean, this is not what they want to see. They don't want to see Jancic back out in the lead, and now I think the pressure is even more on Hamilton to get up there and get in front.
Yeah, nobody holding back Jancic now. Yeah. Where's the lap car? So I'm sure that's what they're saying. Yeah, no, Craig can go, and that's what he will do if he has the opportunity. Now he has the opportunity, so he's going to try it. I'm sure he's going to run up there. We are looking at 21 minutes in so far, and now Craig Jancic is out in the lead with Christopher Hamilton in second. Noah's in third. Mason Smith, Bryce Reiner for your top 5, and Alex R. Savani Matador. Tyler Torville, Dave Tilford, and Kyle Cobbler there for your top 10.
And now we're getting close to pit stops. Even kind of surprised that we didn't have a dip off in the pits that time by, as looked like Joe ultimately that could be little there again a little bit, but gets it back in line here in front of Smith. But you got to think Mason Smith has got to be wanting to get around this 26 as quick as possible as well to put himself up there and maybe get in a battle with the 64 and 88, but I'm surprised we haven't had too many pit stops here so far. We had Cesar Colon Torres come in on lap number 12. Looks like we will have Javi Sierra coming in this time by, but all the leaders still out there. We're close to the halfway point. We will be, I believe, over the halfway point this time by. So if anybody decides to make a short pit, maybe get out there, get those tires warmed up quicker, and make a pass via the pit stop. But the pit exit here, it's right out of turn number 1. It's a little funky on the exit though, Jimmy. It's a quick little right-hand turn, and on some cold tires, you get on that gas a little bit too quickly, and you can loop it coming out of the pits.
Sounds like you're talking from experience.
I'm not saying, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it just happened to me earlier tonight. I'm just saying, just throwing it out there.
Yeah, some of these exits, when you go out there in cold tires and you spin up like the rears or something, it really, they made the model so like if you do that, like if you spin out, they do heat up, but you can get out there and the tires aren't too bad anymore, like after you make a mistake. But yeah, cold tires, they're still kind of slick. There's no real grip. You go to, you're like, oh, I'm not on the straightaway, and you hit the gas, or you pretty much you punch it and, on your pedals, and next thing you know, you've provided too much power to the tires, and they spinning, you go, and they're no kick out on you. So pretty much any car, you can do that, and it's just kind of you're not expecting it, and then you're just mad at yourself for messing up an exit.
Well, nobody from the front group here has exited the track. Nobody into the pits this time by. We are halfway through this race. Hamilton now getting a run on Jancic. Jancic doesn't have anybody drafted in front of him, but Hamilton's going to hang back. He's going to hang back here a little bit longer. Decides not to make a lunge for the pass. Will it pay off or not when it comes to the fuel, when it comes to the pitting, when it comes to the overall race here, and eventually the overall championship as well? Because I know this is only one race out of 11 here, but I feel like they get bigger as the season goes on, and this one is the biggest one so far because it is the one that's right now. Next week, the double points finale is going to be even bigger, but right now, you got to try and get up there and get the positions when you can. Right now, Hamilton's still trailing Jancic. I would think we'd see some of the drivers from the top coming in this time by, as same thing, kind of entry into the pits here. It can get a little bit tricky. You'll see it off here to the right-hand side right there, and you got to keep that car down underneath the, inside the grass there, inside the paint, or you will get a penalty. So it can certainly creep up on you, but man, nobody sneaking off the surface yet. We still have everyone out here from the top 8 still chugging away, not making a pit stop, and really looks like, unless we get some late here in the pits, the top 19 still have yet to make a pit stop.
But yeah, kind of surprised myself. I don't know when, or if they're just going to try to all pit in at the same time, follow the leader type thing. I don't know. I'm not even sure on how far they can go. I mean, I know a full tank, they make it the whole way, or almost the whole way, minus a lap, I think it is. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I think they would be coming in anytime, though.
Well, pretty interesting. That last lap, Jancic put in the fastest lap of the race, 137.53. But you see, the gap hasn't gone anywhere. Hamilton was about 3/10 slower, but making up for it on this lap here and reeling him right back in. We'll see if Jancic was turning up the wick because it's going to be his end lap, or maybe he's just trying his best to get away from Hamilton. It's not working so far. They're starting to come up on some lap traffic. May reach it next lap, and this could be, again, an opportunity to get in there before you hit lap traffic. But it's really all, looking at that track map, can you come out in clean air? Because if you pit and you come out in the middle of all kinds of traffic, you're going to lose some time. But nobody into pits just yet, and we keep on trucking along here. Looks like we do have Alex Zart in the pits, Tyler Torville on the back half of that top 8 train. But again, they're going to be catching up to some lap cars possibly on this lap.
Yeah, and that could be, it could be big. It just depends on when they catch the lap car. It does look like Chris and Craig are able to basically get themselves a little more space there. I think they're maybe just trying to drag it out just a little bit. I know Chris wants to be up front, but he's right there. I'm hoping the best for Chris here, as those pit stops have been pretty beast all season for him.
Yeah, I mean it's been bad for Hamilton, and it's been great for Jancic, and that doesn't add up to exactly what you want if you're in the 64 team to try and get out into the lead. But right now he's clearly just as fast as Jancic. Anytime Jancic turns in a fast lap, Hamilton answers right back and reels him right back in. So there's really no difference between these top two right now. But yeah, as Jimmy mentioned, about a second and a half in between Hamilton and Bourgeot now in third place. So Noah may be falling off the pace here late in the first little run here. We'll see if anyone comes in, and yes, indeed, top two into the pits. Looks like, yeah, third place going to come into the pits as well. So we're top three into the pits. You see Hamilton trying to get everything he can all the way up to the line. It's going to hand the lead over to Mason Smith. Now, what can he do in this McLaren to try and maybe pick off a spot or two on the overcuts, if that is possible here tonight? You see right behind him Bryce Reiner out there as well, going around for another lap. But majority of the drivers from that top 10 are in the pits this time by.
Okay, Jancic away. Oh, Chris Hamilton away.
But already that is a pretty decent gap, 1.25 seconds. So Hamilton is going to need maybe some lap car help here to hold him up, because he cannot let him get outside of the drafting range. And you really need to be within a second. Trying to close it back in. It's down to about a second right now. See the lap car there of Ian Wilson staying plenty far away. Wants to let these drivers do what they do, and they will work along past him. But Hamilton's got to make hay right now. He's got to catch up to Jancic and keep him in tow. Meanwhile, we take a look at Smith and Reiner coming into the stadium section. We'll see if they're going to bring it into the pits this time by, or if they feel like they can go around for one more time, as Reiner closes in on the back of Smith. And man, they're definitely taking some different lines, and there's different lines into the pits there as well, as Smith and Reiner will come into the pits, and this will complete our pit cycle. Oh, very close there. Not sure if there was a contact or not. We'll take you back here to the battle between Jancic and Hamilton. You see how close it is. Hamilton has reeled him back in. This is definitely not over just yet, but tell you what, Jimmy, the race is 2/3 of the way done. We are 30 minutes into this race now, only 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, only a few more minutes to go as these drivers chase each other around. Mason Smith and Bryce coming out of the pits. Oh, battle off the pits. It does look like Bryce gets the advantage. Cars kind of blended together. I'm sure that wouldn't happen in real life.
I would hope not. But they will come out in third and fourth. Reiner is going to move himself up into third now. Can he get up there with these top two and maybe play a little teammate defense here with obviously Jancic and Reiner being teammates here? I'm sure that's what Hamilton would have liked to see with Mason Smith up here, maybe working the core background and trying to work together to get around Jancic, but not going to happen just right now. And really now it's only a 5-car breakaway, as Jancic and Hamilton ahead by about almost 2 seconds over Reiner and Smith, and Madrigal right there in the top 5. Bourgeot not with a good pit stop. He's going to come out in 6th place. Tyler Torville, Dave Tilford, Kyle Cobbler, and Frank Bassano for your top 10. Leader in the silver class now is William Burrell, as he has made a good pit stop and got himself back out there. Looks like that's actually Alex Zart that had a pit road penalty. That's why you don't see him up there towards the top anymore. I believe it was an unsafe entry or speeding on entry. Got him a 40-second time hold. Back up to the front here, and really just 2 battles here. The battle for first between Jancic and Hamilton, and then a battle for third, fourth, and fifth between Reiner, Smith, and Madrigal. These are your 2 best battles on the track, but there's definitely a couple of them brewing out here. You got Tyler Torville in 2nd place. You see Noah Bourgeot right in front of him right now as 1st, 2nd, and 3rd in the gold division. Here, nose to tail in 6th, 7th, and 8th with Bourgeot, Torville, and Tilford. So some good battling right here. Another one back here is Christian Ortiz Torres trying to catch up to Herbert Pineda and get himself closer to the top 10.
Something happened to Elaine back there.
Yeah, missing a front bumper. That is not how he wanted to have this part of the race here, and just a little bit too much curve again, and gets clipped right there by, I believe that was Stephen McLean, and lost the front bumper. That's going to be, I would think, a trip back to pit lane for the 509. I don't think he's going to like the handling of that car without a front bumper on it.
That usually, missing pieces of the car usually definitely affects the way the car handles, whether it's speed or the turning grip or whatever. They're taking away some of the downforce. So yeah, it's always interesting to kind of see a car kind of missing pieces, but you really don't know how it's really affecting the car too much unless you're in it. I know there's been times where we've taken some pretty good licks and the car just feels great, and it just might be a mile an hour or two slower than it normally is, but it still handles great. And for the majority of the track, you're fine. But obviously, when it comes down to the long straightaways where you're topping out your max speed, you're just a couple mile an hour or slower, so people are catching you and passing you. So yeah, damage is never good to see in the car when we get a chance to see what happened to one of the drivers. But Craig Jancic leading the way right now, still over Christopher Hamilton. Bryce Reiner is in third with Mason Smith in fourth. Savani is back there for your top five, and then Noah falls back to sixth. Tyler Tolbert in seventh. Dave Tilford in eighth. Kyle Cobbler back there in ninth, and Frank Pisano round out your top 10.
I thank everyone for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our sponsors, Martin PC and 4D Racewear, for the sponsorship here for the season and their continued support here at CSRL. As once again, this is the penultimate round here, round number 10. Next week is going to be round number 11, the 2-hour double points season finale at Indianapolis. That was a bit wide there for Hamilton. Going to lose him a little bit of time here, and got to make sure those tires are clean going through turn number 1. It seems to be the fastest part of the track for him, and again, it was up to about 0.6 at the line, already down to a half a second. He really gains on Jancic here through 1, 2, 3, all the way really down to the hairpin.
Yeah, obviously the Mercedes got, every car seems to have its niche, or it's a little better than the other. Obviously with the Ford and the Mercedes both being Ford engine cars, both V8s, they're pretty similar even drive. I really don't find too much of a difference in them myself when I'm out there, besides the way they sound. The Mustang sounds beautiful, especially inside. And on the outside, the Mercedes sounds like a roaring monster as well. So, yeah, those two cars are pretty well matched as far as things go here on the track. As right now, it just comes down to the driver, and these two drivers have been battling all season. It doesn't surprise me to see them doing it again.
We're back here, another battle just outside the top 10 here, battling for 14th, 15th, and 16th between, actually 15th, 16th, 17th between Blaylock, Dilemma, and Sierra, as almost 3 wide as Blaylock goes way wide out of the hairpin, but they're all going to settle right back in line here as the clock is starting to tick away here. Less than 10 minutes to go here in this race before we crown another winner and get one step closer to crowning champions as well. And once again, to take a look at the standings coming in, we talked about how close it is in the Platinum division, with Jancic only up by 9 over the other two in the top 3, with Hamilton only 8 back. But in the gold, it is just as close as well. I mean, only 13 points separating Torville and Tilford, and you wonder, what Tilford is doing, what he's thinking here, watching Tyler Torville run in front of him again. Does he have anything left in the Porsche to get up there and battle with Tourville, or even maybe get up there and battle with Porsche for the class win here tonight. Over in the bronze division, Todd Tourville 10 points up on Wayne Burrell, but Wayne Burrell right now is leading in the silver division with Todd Tourville plenty behind him. And in fact, he is actually a minute and a half behind him. He is almost lapped by Wayne Burrell right now, as he is in 5th place in the silver division by itself, but 8 positions overall. This could definitely swing the point standings into Burrell's favor after tonight, and even Paul Bailey sitting 3rd in the silver division, or the silver class here tonight, could end up getting a little bit closer to that points lead as well. But out front, it is still Greg Jancic leading, not by much, by less than half a second here as we complete another lap. Head off into turn number 2. We'll see if Hamilton has anything for him on this lap. But speaking of something, we got something brewing here in turn number 1. Tilford was on the inside, had to back out there. Great battle between the top 2 drivers in the points here and the gold.
Yeah, I mean, they're obviously trying to finish, the best they can. Time's coming down here, almost at that 40-minute mark. So
there's a move to the inside, not to stop you, Jimmy. Move to the inside for the lead. Hamilton goes to the inside. He's got to get the run out of the corner. I think they're still side-by-side. Jancic still has a little bit of bumper in there, but Hamilton's going to have the inside for the kink. Is he going to push him out a little bit wide? He's going to try to. Jancic's going to have to fall back in line. Hamilton back to the point.
Yeah, that's obviously 64 getting out front here. First time out front since the big old switcherooski. I mean, I wasn't able to get it done there, being behind Noah earlier, and then things kind of happened, and Craig Jancic kind of pushed his way to the front, was able to make it happen. But great move by the 64. I don't think Craig was expecting it. Chris finally put it down here, as time is of an essence at the moment, and he needs to get this win here to give him a better chance next week for the finale. I'm sure Mason Smith would love to get around Bryce Reiner as well, as he's now falling back there to P4, and Bryce is now in 3rd. So there's some battles here. Still got about 5 minutes to go. I need to catch a flight to head over to Bristol here, as we are on a doubleheader here tonight with the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing League with the next-gen cars as well. So more racing to come here in CRN right after this one. So if I want to step out and get that stuff ready, and we'll catch you over there.
Absolutely, and for all the fans out there, 45 minutes of racing isn't enough for you here tonight. Make sure you tune in to us right after this for the doubleheader for the Pit Road Speed Limit Racing, as they'll do 175 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. But this thing is less than 5 minutes to go, but it's far from over, as Jancic not letting Hamilton go. We got some lap traffic starting to come into the picture in front of Hamilton. Will it play a part here in the end of this race? Take a look back here. Bryce Reiner still leading the 3rd, 4th, and 5th battle, but Mason Smith again right there as well. And so is Siviani Mondragol, just kind of hanging back there and waiting. But we'll keep an eye on the front of this here, as once again coming up on some lap traffic here at the back of the field. Hamilton's got to pick the right time to get around. He can't get held up at all, and a great job there by Todd Tourville, as he's going to pull out of the way. It's definitely going to help Hamilton get on by, and should be 2, maybe 3 laps left in this race. But this was a good run through the first sector here for Hamilton, and it's just part of the track he's been bingoing here all night. And now just looking to get a good rotation through turn number 2, send him off into the parabolic and trying to hold off any kind of charge here from Jancic. And it seems like the biggest passing opportunity is right where Hamilton made the pass at the end of the parabolic, heading into the hairpin at the end of the parabolic, known as Spitzker. I'm going to call it as we'll just, I'm sure it's screwing that one up as well, but it's my American attempt at German, even though I got a little Pennsylvania Dutch in me. It's not enough German to get any of these right here, so figured I mean, some of these curves I can get. Obviously, Parabolica, I got that one. Mobile 1 curve, I can handle that. Sud curve, I'm assuming I'm getting that right. It's just that Spitz curve, I'm not sure about that one. We'll leave it up to everyone out there in the audience to let me know how bad I'm butchering that one. But these drivers not butchering this race here tonight. It's been a good one. Hamilton in the lead. We'll see if we get the white flag this time by, but I don't believe we're going to. It's going to be close. Another lap car coming into play, and Hamilton blinking out there for a second. Luckily, the lap car does get out of the way. These drivers battling back to the front stretch as Hamilton's got even closer trouble now. Jancic all over the back bumper. And I don't see, I think I did see Marty there off to the right, but I don't see any white flag in the air just yet. So should be 2 laps to go here. Jancic closer this time by, but not close enough to make a move here. Into turn number 2. Can he get enough of a draft down through the Parabolica to make a run? We'll take a look at the battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Still waging on. Mason Smith is close this time. Will he have a chance to make the move on Bryce Reiner as Maximian Madrigal jumped out there for a second, and even Mason Smith jumped out there for a little bit. Now Smith going to try and get the power down, just steps out on him. If he could have, he may have had a chance to get around Bryce Reiner, but not going to happen this time by. Back up to the front. Hamilton still leads, but Jancic all over the backside here. Heading back towards the stadium section one more time. And should be getting the white flag this time by. You see Jancic flashing those lights, trying to get in his head, and all I know, we could be on the white flag. I thought I see Marty off to the right. If I did, I didn't see any kind of white flag flying. But we'll come back through this time by, and we'll get a definitive answer as Jancic trying to get in Hamilton's head here through the final corners. And once again, Jancic flashing those lights, but white flag is out. Now I see Barney there for sure. The white flag is out. 1 more lap to go. Hamilton has got to hold on, and you see Jancic all over the backside, really trying to get in his head. Not going to happen into turn number 2. Can Hamilton hold it together? It's a good run through 1 and 2 for Jancic. He may have a chance here at the end of the Parabolica. Will Hamilton go defensive? Where does he go? How can he hold him off? Because this is going to be close here. Hamilton's going to have to drift to the inside. And Jancic's going to try and go around the outside. Gets a good run through there. Did Hamilton get a good enough run off the corner? It's going to be almost a mirror image, almost side by side, but Hamilton has the edge. He's going to have to stay maybe to the left here. He's going to give an option to Jancic into the corner. Jancic's going to go wide, side by side through the S. Hamilton has got the edge. Can Jancic fight back on the inside? It's not going to happen. Meanwhile, Mason Smith did get around Bryce Reiner to move into 3rd and back into the stadium section one more time. Still not over yet, and maybe one more chance here for Jancic heading into the bank turn. Hamilton's going to fend him off. A couple more corners. This was a dogfight throughout the race, all the way to the end. Hamilton goes defensive through the final corners, and it's going to be enough to get him to the checkered flag first. Chris Hamilton gets the win here tonight. Jancic in 2nd. Mason Smith did get the pass done to get into 3rd. We'll take a look at that pass right here real quick, as it was down into the hairpin, got to the inside, got good rotation, and did get the power down this time as he made the pass. He will finish in 3rd, Bryce Reiner in 4th, Simeon Madrigal in 5th. Noah Bourgeot is going to get the win in the gold class, finishing up there in 6th position. William Burrell looking like he's going to get it done here as well. He's got 13.5 seconds in between him and Alain below. So he is going to round these final corners and take it through the stadium section one more time. And this could be potentially a championship points lead stealing race for William Burrell, as he's going to gain a good amount of points here on Todd Torville. Didn't have a great race, but at least Todd Torville did finish third overall in the silver class, but 6 positions overall behind William Burrell, who's going to get the silver class win. So congrats to him. Chris Burrell, biggest mover of the race, once again is going to go to the 82 of Brennan Dilemma. So he's got some questions to answer after that one, as we kind of started talking about the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Award, and I dubbed it the Sandbagger Award. And I feel like it's the second or third time now that Dilemma is our Sandbagger of the race. So we'll talk to him as well. But heck of a run, heck of a finish here, especially for the win, and really for a couple of positions out here tonight. It was good. It was exactly what Hockenheim can do, and I love coming here both as a broadcaster and a racer. It's a fun little track here in Germany, and it put on a fantastic race for me, and I'm assuming for you out there as well. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe, get you in touch with everything that Saren has to offer with the sponsor reads here. Before we get to the interviews, 40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 sim racing shoes, custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, while still providing the comfort needed for those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products, including the original racing gloves for your feet. At Simcraft, for Martin, gotta get rid of that one there, but for Martin PC, they are focused on providing high-quality PCs, rigs, and components at an affordable price. Your investment in sim racing is exactly the same as racing with an actual car, and they take that same methodology at Martin. From the engine PC to the chassis, rig, pedals, wheels, and shifter, you deserve components that match your desire to compete. Time to get some interviews here, as I'm sure they're still kind of shaking things out on this one, but we do have one that is up here and ready. I just want to ping the other guys here for their interviews, and then we'll get everything underway here. All right, there we go. So we will start with one of our interviewers here, our interviewees, and that is going to be the driver of the 21, William Burrell, as he gets it done here in the silver class here tonight. William, a heck of a run from you here tonight, and not only was it a good run for you, you get yourself up here in the top 20, but you maybe put a little bit of distance in between you and Todd Torville to try and wrestle that lead of the points back away heading into the finale.
Yeah, it's a good race tonight. No mistakes. That was the key. I practiced yesterday, and actually before the race was not good. Frickin' car kept wanting to swap ends on me, and I didn't think I was actually going to do well tonight. Actually not feeling very well either. I almost didn't race tonight. My stomach's been killing me, but hell, maybe that's the key.
I mean, I say that all the time when somebody says they're sick or something happened to them or whatever. Like it works. so do it again. I know Dave Tilford had COVID at one point, and he had a good finish, and I told him, well, he's going to get COVID every week now. But yeah, I mean, it was not easy out here tonight. I know for myself, trying to get out there and just do a little testing on cold tires. I know cold tires are definitely a thing no matter where you go. For some reason here, it just seemed like it was really tough to kind of run those first couple laps and heat them up.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The car was really slippery on first 2 laps for me. I know a lot of guys heat them up in 1 lap, but yeah, I couldn't do it. So I didn't qualify well, which I was kind of okay with because I didn't think I was going to do well. But at the hairpin, there was a big pile up, and I got an off track there. I think I passed on the left. There was just somebody, I think, sideways. I was going to go back and look at it and didn't have a chance. But once I got through that, and, things got sorted out, I kind of find the area I was racing in, and no, it was a good race. Again, for me, it's like I'll get 30, 40 minutes into a race, and I'll start thinking about something else, and I'll drop a tire off or brake too hard or do something stupid. And tonight I just, I ran my own race. I did look back. I think the final, I was maybe 9 seconds ahead of was it Allen?
Lane, yeah. Yep.
Something like that. And I saw that, and then there was another point. I can't. It was a gold racer. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. But
I was trying to get him beside me, and I told him to pass me left, and I moved to the right, and then he moved to the right, and I was like, yep, see, there's the accident that usually happens, but we got that sorted out, and I just, I didn't look back. I just raced my race, and I could see Renan, I think it was, ahead of me, and I just, kind of followed him a little bit, look at his braking areas, make sure mine were similar, and, it all worked out.
Well, it could work out very well here. I mean, he come into the race 10 points behind Todd Torville, but he finishes 6 positions behind you here tonight. So heading into the season finale, double points, double the length. You guys are, well, even more than double the length. You guys are going 2 hours for the season finale at Indianapolis. Do you have time on Indianapolis? Do you feel confident going into there? Is there now a little extra added pressure to try and get this thing done?
Oh, actually, the opposite. I do have some practice on Indianapolis, but I'll be traveling to Chattanooga on my way to Cincinnati next week, so I will not be participating.
Oh, that is a shame. That is a shame.
Yeah, it is. I talked to Jim about that beforehand. I said, we could, postpone it for a couple of weeks because I'm not going to be back for 2 weeks, but he didn't see it my way, so that's okay. There's always next season, and whatever happens, happens. I'm just out here to race. I get excited every time I do win a race. If I don't, I'm okay with that too. I just, I race with you and some other guys on Thursday nights, and I just want to race. I don't care. As long as it's good, clean racing. I win, it's great. If I lose, that's okay too.
Well, maybe it's because you're the newest admin, so you don't really have pulling rights to change the schedule this late in the season. But maybe next season or the season after. Well, either way, maybe. You get it done here tonight. So congrats on what will end up being the season ender for you here and getting the silver class win tonight. So congrats on that. Before we let you go and celebrate, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
As always, my mom, she's always listening, and I think she knows how to chat with you guys now too when you don't have the screens up like you like. I think she puts that on you, but she always watches. All my friends, I literally have probably any time up to maybe 8 people watching, and I can't list them all every time, but Sandy, she's one of my mom's friends. She's pretty loyal too, but every one of you that's out there, I do appreciate you watching. I'm glad and happy when I can win one for you guys. And for the Sim Gaming Expo, my friends at SimCraft are going to be there. I've talked with TJ, and they're going to have available sessions to try out the rig that I'm driving, and I think they're going to have several of them there. But if you get a chance to go by and see SimCraft up there, they would appreciate it, and it's a pretty neat experience. So give them a go.
Well, you enjoy yourself out there, and I know we'll see you out here next season once you guys start rolling around here. But definitely a good way to end the season off for you with a class win. So go celebrate, enjoy the off season, and we'll catch you out here once again.
Sounds good, Carl. Thank you.
That is your silver class winner here tonight, William Burrell, getting it done here, finishing in 19th. Your winner here in the gold division, you got him here. Winner in the gold here tonight is going to be the 26 of Noah, and I'm going to try and pronounce your name again. I'm probably butchering it, but Bourgeois.
Bourgeois.
Okay, there we go. Good.
I've heard so many different variations.
I could call you worse. We'll put it that way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But hey, listen. A hell of a race for you. I mean, you spent quite a bit of time up there at the front. A couple little mistakes, especially coming out of that final corner, getting in a little bit too much kitty litter on the front stretch. But all in all, I mean, you come home with a 5th place, a top 5 here. You held off the charge from Tilford and Tyler Torville there at the end to get the top spot here in the gold.
Yeah, that was quite the roller coaster. I started off probably overshooting what I was reasonably able to do pace-wise, but thankfully those guys behind me were kind of just battling, and I was able to keep it up front until I made that mistake in the last corner, and then I screwed up my pit road entry, so that just made things worse for me. But thankfully I was able to hang on to at least the lead in gold, so that was a pretty cool race.
It seemed like a good track for the Porsche here tonight. Obviously, I know, a little home cooking here in Germany, but I mean, it seemed like this is a track where the Porsche could actually handle it pretty well. I know it's a little sketchy on, kind of the back and forth type of tracks where the body weight is shifting. The Porsche typically doesn't like that, but it seemed like you were handling okay tonight.
Yeah, the only corner, well, I mean, besides the last corner just going too wide, but the hairpin, the left-hander in the stadium section was really sketchy for me under braking when the tires were hot. So I was just trying to like stay patient there. But beyond that, the Porsche handle is awesome around this place.
Well, next week, 2 hours is going to be the distance at Indianapolis. Do you have any kind of experience there for Indy? Are you looking forward to it? Will we see you out there?
I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm kind of like an endurance guy more than anything. Like I've been trying to do the 24-hour events that iRacing's been doing, and I love Indy as a place. So I'm hoping to get some good practice in this week and have a good performance there.
Well, it was a good performance out here tonight, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you can do over 2 hours there at Indy. But take some time to celebrate the top five here, the class win. But before we let you go and celebrate, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout out to everyone at CSRL for hosting this awesome league. It's been a lot of fun, the couple races I've done so far. Thanks to my girlfriend for putting up with my sim racing addiction. And shout out to Kyle Kobler for getting us in this league and putting on some good racing.
Well, you certainly did that yourself here tonight as well. So congrats again on the finish. We'll let you go celebrate. We'll see you next week at Indy.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
That is your fifth place finisher overall, but top spot here in the gold, the 26 of Noah Bourgeois. Top spot here tonight. It was not easy for him, but it's going to go to the 64 of Chris Hamilton. Chris, has the breathing finally settled down here? You can stop looking behind you. You can stop looking in the mirrors. You're in here. You're safe. This is a safe place here. You made the top spot here, but I'll be damned if you didn't have to fight for it.
Give me a moment.
Yes, I completely understand.
Yeah, I'm drenched. I'm exhausted. You never know how tiring sim racing can be until you're actually doing it. But oh my God, what a race.
So I got to ask you about the first half of the race. You were obviously hounding Jancic the entire time, and then both of you guys got around Noah Bourgeois there as he made the mistake. I mean, how big, first of all, was that pass on Bourgeois to get around him as quickly as you did?
Pretty important. I needed to stay with Craig as much as I could. We went back to the drawing board for pit stops, and I did some testing in Core GT and some other races. I think it paid off. I finally didn't lose 3 seconds in the pits.
Well, I was kind of wondering about the first half of the race there too. It seemed like you had a couple opportunities that you could maybe send on around the outside, or maybe kind of sneak attack on the inside, like you eventually did later in the race to take the lead. But were you kind of content sticking behind there, and maybe trying to save a little bit of fuel?
Yes, the race didn't start for me until the second half. I knew there was really, really deep braking zones, and Craig and I were saving. I can tell that he wasn't really pushing it until I got a sneak attack on him. I saw that I stayed in the pits, so I had a little bit more fuel than he did. I did lose some time, but I didn't lose the draft. And when I saw he was saving, I pushed a little bit. When I knew I was good, that's when I made that attack.
Yeah, it looked like you came out like right about like 1.2 seconds, but you gained those 2-3 tenths very quickly, and it seemed like that Mercedes was really hooked up through the first sector. It seemed like 1, 2, and 3, you were kind of gaining on them every time, even before you got to the Parabolica, which gave you the opportunity to get that draft all the way through the Parabolica as well.
Actually, I think my best sector was sector 2 and 3. I just kind of didn't lose too much, so that way I can gain that little bit from the draft. Draft is huge on this track, especially when you have a long straight into a hairpin. If you can be in that draft, you'll be able to get there. I don't know how much of that last lap was on the broadcast, but it was.
You guys were on the broadcast pretty much the entire broadcast.
Well, I got to give a huge shout out to Craig. That was a hard fought battle. No one. I think I got like only 1x or maybe 2x here and there. I don't know, but his car is clean, my car is clean. It was just a good, hard-fought battle, and it's going to be that way until the end because it's a winner-take-all next week.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's not going to be easy as you guys head to Indy, not for 45 minutes. You're out there for 2 hours. So, I mean, thoughts on Indy? I know it's a place that some drivers just really don't like, even to the point where they don't even like running the special events there, like the iRacing. I think it's an 8-hour, 10-hour event there. But you guys are stuck. You're going to Indy regardless for 2 hours, and it's a championship on the line.
Yep. We'll see. There's a lot of deep braking zones there, and I think it might be something similar. Probably not as optimistic as Hockenheim because there's no hairpin, but there's going to be some sand. There's going to be chaos. I think it's going to be a battle all the way till the end. There might be a lull point in the middle of it, but if it's within a second, strap in. It's going to be a dogfight.
I say we do it, old core style, and just have you guys start in the back of the field, and it really, really puts you guys through the ringer. But no, it doesn't matter if you guys start in the back, the front, the middle. You guys race hard and clean all the way through the entire race. It was a pleasure watching it here tonight between all you guys up here at the front. And you get it done. You get a little bit closer to Jancic here heading to the final. So we'll wish you luck on the championship. But before we let you go and get out of here tonight and celebrate this win, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Huge shout out to Ryan McCauley for the fun Genshin Impact waifu scheme. During the race, also shout out to Craig. During the race, I asked, may I have this dance? Because I have the girl car on here. So I was just being courteous. And
Nice.
He obliged. So that was, he let me have that dance. How nice of him. Thank you to Craig. Thank you to all the guys here at CSRL for a fun series. It's competitive. It may be casual, but it's also competitive. Don't let that confuse you. And thanks to you again, Carl, for the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, he let you dance with him, and then all of a sudden he gets behind you. He's just flashing you left and right. So it's either way, it was a fun watching this thing all the way to the end. So congrats. We'll let you get out of here. See you next week at Indy.
All right, see you then.
Winner here tonight, the 64 of Chris Hamilton getting it done, and it's really going to crank up those points here for the season finale. But we got one more that we got to get here into the interview room, and that is going to be Brendan Dilemma, driver of the number 82, finishing up 14 spots from his sandbagging qualifying. As Brendan, this is not the first time we've had you here for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award. I'm starting to maybe see a little bit of a trend here. Maybe you want to blame it on some of the guys wrecking or going off the track, or you found some race pace. I don't buy it.
Oh, that's pretty fun. Listen, if I can't win a race, if I can't win a class, I'm gonna win something. All right, and this is the next best thing.
Well, talk to us about the race itself, because I know there were some incidents in the beginning of the race, but I mean, ultimately it seemed like there was really kind of one major passing opportunity. Maybe you could say into turn 2 if you got a good enough run, but really the end of the parabolic, end of the hairpin seemed like the one and only place you could pass here. But I mean, you made at least 14 passes here tonight to move your way up.
Yeah, it was a tough one. If you didn't get enough pace going into the turn, you definitely weren't going to be making any passes. And towards the end, it just got harder and harder to do. I got stuck behind Trent for quite a bit. I would catch him and just no opportunities to pass. And that's what it came down to. Is just, I think in the beginning I had good runs, a few wrecks, and I've been sandbagging, so.
Well, it worked out here tonight, and you get yourself a good finish. And I mean, it couldn't have been easy. I mean, from this thing, I know you started almost last in the field here tonight, and passed half the field to come through here and get the award here. So yeah, you didn't win the gold, but you didn't win the silver either, I guess technically. So I guess it's the bronze medal here tonight. But either way, it's still a medal.
That's right. Winning's still winning.
All right, buddy. Well, congrats on the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award here tonight. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Shout out to all the sponsors. Shout out to you guys. You guys always do a wonderful job. I'm not sure if one of my really good friends, Pat's watching, but if you are, buddy, thanks for watching. My wife for allowing me to do this, and my buddy Luca getting to start school next week. So all exciting things.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. Congrats on that as well. Well, we'll let you go celebrate, get out of here. We'll see you next week at Indy for the 2-hour season finale. And I mean, I'm guessing qualifying about 30th, finishing about 8th for next week. That's the goals that I'm setting for you.
Fair assessment. Put it all on that.
All right. We'll do. That is your Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner here tonight, the 82 of Run-In Dilemma. Once again, thank you to everyone for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up, hit that like, give us a little subscribe as well to get you in touch with everything that Siren has to offer. Everything is free. It doesn't cost you anything to like, doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, and you get to enjoy all this racing. I'm not done. Hopefully you all out there are not done as well, because I'm about to head over to Bristol myself and join Jimmy for the pit road speed limits racing, 175 laps at Bristol. It should be very interesting to say the least. But for myself and Jimmy from the Hockenheim ring, we'll see you at the track.